Welcome to the Next Drink Podcast. It's Sunday, February 1st. We are about exactly 1 week out right now as we're recording this from Super Bowl 60. But 1 week from now, it'll be middle of the first quarter of a football game we cannot wait to watch. This is Adam Brazizi, along with my co-host Chris Garabedian and Nick Calderon. Boys, how are we feeling 1 week out?
It's starting to sink in. It's starting to sink in. I'm starting to get fired up. I'm thinking about it constantly. I'm looking for any piece of information. I'm looking for an edge is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I was like this morning, I was a little hungover on my couch, and I turned on NFL Network, and they're playing all the old Super Bowls this morning. I was like, this is just what the doctor ordered. I was like, gets me in the right mood. Today's a nice little day off, and then we're full tilt next week, ready to go. So I'm ready.
Yeah, last night I was watching. I watched the first Rams Super Bowl and the Seahawks Super Bowl highlights on YouTube. Just gets you so excited, man. What football games those two? The first Rams one, obviously we were so young. I haven't watched a good breakdown in a while, and there was just some crazy stuff that happened in that game. Just a crazy. I forgot about Tabucky Jones picks up the fumble and takes it to the house, and then it's Will McGinnis held away from the play. Ended up making for more drama, though, I guess.
You talk about, you say your mom was saying that you were crying after they tied up. When they called back to Bucky Jones touchdown, I had a breakdown as a fourth grader, dude. I was crying. I was like, they can't take it away. Yeah. I was so upset. I was so, obviously Willie Mack ended up being one of my favorite Patriots. For the rest of that game, I hated him for that penalty, though. I was so upset.
It was pretty late in the game, too. It was 17-3, deep into the fourth quarter.
We were about to dog walk them in the Super Bowl. If they didn't call that holding, they were getting dog walked.
Yeah, it was a pretty blatant hold, too.
It was. It was a penalty, but you don't know that when you're 9.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't really remember. I remember, not understanding it at all. Yeah, but so Cal was at the Pats send-off rally today, so how was it, Cal?
It was, first thing, it was fucking cold. It was really cold. But, can't say I'm surprised that there was as many people there as there was. It was packed. And just a cool experience. And let's not get it twisted. It is not about the players. That is something that is purely for the fans. And man, it that's exactly what it's for. And it delivers, because it's you get to go in the field. I'm in the middle of Gillette Stadium, standing on the 50-yard line, just looking around. And it's just a cool vibe. And they do a good job. They brought back a handful of old Patriots. They had the Dropkick Murphys, all that stuff. And then, yeah, just a good vibe, purely for the fans, but it was good energy there again. Glad I went.
Yeah, great way to kick off Super Bowl week. It's they're flying out today, right? So tomorrow everything will start up with the media stuff. And just for reference for the listeners, so the plan for today's episode, we're gonna split the preview into two parts. It's the Super Bowl. We're going all out. So today we're gonna really mainly look at how the Pats defense stacks up with the Seahawks offense, and then we'll likely tackle the inverse on Wednesday, as well as anything other thing comes up. Before we get to that, though, I just kind of want to take a moment to think about just how incredible it is that we're in this position right now. We're talking about the greatest professional sports franchise in modern pro sports history, that suddenly for a few years was down in the dumps, down in the dregs of the league, is suddenly on the precipice of winning really one of the most unlikely, memorable championships, as far as just things you didn't see coming and just pure blissful enjoyment for the fans that I can really recall in recent sports. We're talking about a 23-year-old quarterback, a coach who won 3 Super Bowls with the franchise. It was like a cult hero player who's in his first season as the head coach after back-to-back 4-win seasons. And here we are, one great performance away from glory. It's just amazing.
It's a surreal feeling, and I never thought we would be back here. And I thought when we, I remember, I think I've said it earlier on the show, last year before the game that they ended up beating Buffalo and costing themselves the number 1 pick, I was driving over to Galley's house to watch the game, and I was just thinking, man, I was I can't believe like, this is where this franchise is. I just would love to watch a meaningful football game that wasn't draft implications, that wasn't focused like, I was praying that we were gonna fire Mayo and hire Mike Vrabel because there was a lot of already rumors about that going into the last game of the year. And thank the Lord that Kraft did that. To be from that's where we were on January 3rd, 2025 to next week we're playing in the Super Bowl. It's surreal.
Yep. The only thing that we are missing right now is just a Super Bowl victory to just cap off this storybook season, because that's exactly it's a storybook season. From 4 wins, no one expected it. No matter what anyone says, no one's expecting it. And then now we're here. Now we're here, and people are still doubting us, and I love it because it's like we can't believe it that we were here like preseason. We weren't doing that. We were a likable team. Like media coverage throughout the year, we were a likable team, and then as soon as we got here, and as soon as we started winning again, and as soon as the thought crept in that like, oh crap, like maybe the Patriots are going to be in the Super Bowl, or the Patriots are going to do this and that, it flipped the switch again, and I love it.
Yeah, it's just like you said, G. Like I try not to be like the asshole Boston sports fan, and that I understand how incredibly lucky we've been. And I feel like at some point things are gonna flip, and we're gonna go through just a crazy drought. Like it just almost feels like that's like the way math works. Like you're looking at these teams in these 30-team leagues, like it's not easy to win the championship or be in contention. You know what I mean? And how lucky we've been. I mean, even with the recent years, like when this Pats were down, the Celtics were making the championship twice. They're always in the mix. Red Sox have had obviously the 4 titles. The Bruins are always in the mix. So at some point, it's going to come back and get us. And, there's obviously one more game to play here, and it's going to be they're going to have a hell of a fucking performance to win this one. But it's just amazing that they're here. And I want to take a second, especially that, we started doing this podcast this season, like about, 5-6 weeks into the season. And we didn't know this was coming. We thought like, yeah, maybe they'll get the playoffs. Early in the season, we're talking like, yeah, this feels like a playoff team. And then it started to become, yeah, maybe they can actually win the AFC East if this keeps going right. If, the schedule is pretty easy. And then it's like, hey, can they get the 1 seed? And we were still kind of like, oh, they got flaws. Like, I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl. But then some weeks we thought they could. And it's here. The Super Bowl is here. The Patriots are in it. They're playing a great Seahawks team. So we'll take that as a way to transition into getting into the preview. So we're coming in, both teams. And by the way, this Seahawks team, they're also one of the longest. I think I saw a stat of the highest preseason odds to win the Super Bowl. I think whoever wins this will have the second longest odds before the season started. Like people thought they might be a playoff team. They were in a tough division. The people kind of liked their roster, but obviously, like, you didn't know Sam Darnold was going to do this well. You didn't know their defense was going to be this good. You didn't know Mike McDonald was going to emerge to this level. JSM was going to become, the best top 2 receiver in football this season. So they've also had very much a storybook season. It's been a bit, I don't say even more of a dominant storybook season. Both teams come in 14-3. The Seahawks in just a loaded division with the Rams and the Niners. They went 2-1 against both those teams. They beat them both in the playoffs. Getting home field for them was obviously huge. But you know what? They didn't. If you look at their schedule, it's like you take off those divisional games. It wasn't the hardest schedule ever. And it's like neither did we, right? And I think if you look at history of NFL teams, for all this schedule chatter, yeah, if you have an easier schedule, you're more likely to win more games, more likely to end up with the high seed in the playoffs, more likely to win the Super Bowl. I mean, they beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. They beat Houston at home. It was early in the season. Neither of those teams are really peaking. They won at Pittsburgh. They lost versus Baker's Bucks. Other than that, they kind of played a lot of trash teams. So I don't know. I mean, obviously the wins against the Rams were great. We talked last week about how the second Rams win they had was kind of a fluky game. So this is a really, DVOA loves this team. They have them as like a top 10 team of all time coming into this game.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on the Seahawks? Just high level.
I mean, I think they're a great team. They're definitely the most complete team that we've played, and honestly, probably one of the most complete teams in the NFL in all 3 phases, and including coaching and then even including just what they are as like a sports franchise. Like they are a they are a franchise that I think has gotten it right over the last, 10, 15 years. They always seem to be, for the most part, a well-run organization. And then from the team, again, they just don't have, they don't have like a glaring weakness. And I think, again, they're well coached and they compete.
They're a good team. You don't get to this game by being a bad team for sure. I don't understand. I don't agree with the DVOA. Whatever they're saying that there's like a top 10 team of all time coming into this game. I think that's horseshit. I don't know why they're being treated and talked about as like they're this all-time great team coming into this game and that we don't have a chance to win this game. I think that's a little absurd. They're a very good football team. They are well coached. They have great special teams. It's a very good, solid defense. Their quarterback has played well this year, but he also did lead the league in turnovers as well. So there's some spots there. I just don't understand why they're being talked about like they're this all-time great team when my eye test did not see that at all. They look like a good football team this year, which is, not disrespecting them, but they don't look like an all-time great team coming into this game.
Yeah.
Just to bounce off of that, I mean, all-time great team talk is a little absurd. I definitely don't think that. Cause Brew, I heard the same stat you were talking about like the ranking of DVOA, and I think they were like 4 or something like
they
ridiculous.
were really high up there,
dude. They were like talking about them. They were like talking about them. The I think it was like the 83 Niners or whatever it was, and then the 85 Bears.
Like,
and all this, it's like, dude, okay, come on now. Like, let's chill a little bit there.
It's interesting because I was gonna say DVOA. It's like, looking at these advanced stats, right? Like, I'm a stats guy. I generally understand like the rationale behind some of it. You look at their EPA stats. Their offense was 10th. They were 9th in passing, 23rd in rushing. Their defense was. This is including playoffs. Their defense was 2nd. I think they were 1st if it's just regular season, which makes sense that the Rams kind of had a good game against them. I think that them and the Texans were like neck and neck. Their rush defense was phenomenal. They were by far the best rush defense. The distance between them and 2nd place in EPA per play is the same gap as 2nd and 19th. So they just absolutely shut down the run, and their pass defense was 5th. So when we talk about Wednesday, we talk about how we're going to beat this team offensively. That's going to be the real challenge here. But we've seen it. I mean, Stafford's had 2 really good games against them. Even the game that the game the Rams beat the Seahawks, Stafford actually didn't play great. But like we said, it's like, they played Purdy with a really banged-up Niners team a couple times. They lost them week 1, which kind of throw out the window. Other than that, I mean, they played Spencer Rattler, Kyler Murray, hurt Jaden Daniels, Jacoby Brissett, Cam Ward, J.J. McCarthy, Kirk Cousins, Phillip Rivers, and Bryce Young. So, like, some of those teams, like, you look at, like, the Colts stacked up as, like, a pretty good team, like, stat-wise for a lot of the year. Like, by that point, you're looking at Phil Rivers. It was a pretty close game. I mean, the Vikings had some good stretches, but when J.J. McCarthy was at his worst, like, that was a game that the Seahawks won 26-0. So,
they didn't even play J.J. McCarthy in that game. J.J. was hurt. It was Max Hosmer.
It was Brosmer. I was assuming it was J.J. when I saw 26-0.
The worst.
I remember that now.
Interception I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I would have taken any one of us 3 on the pod playing quarterback that day over that kid. That was like one of them. That was like a top 3 worst performance I've ever seen at the position. Like, it was Nathan Peterman level bad.
And they did. Baker Mayfield put 38 points on them.
Yep, that was early in the season. Yeah, that was early in the season.
That was when the Bucs were really playing well, but we got them a couple weeks later in Tampa and beat them. So, it was.
We kind of ended the
5 weeks
Bucs
before. Yeah, the Bucs kind of were getting banged up as it was, but it was 5 weeks before. But yeah, I mean, they're a really good team. Like, they are just. You look at the roster, like, the more we've been researching this, it's like. They're just got good players all over. They're well coached. Their special teams are phenomenal. However, the real crux of this game, in my opinion, or at least when we're looking at the offense of the Seahawks versus the Pats defense, Sam Darnold, who's had a storied career, to say the least, a guy who's at points looked like one of the great draft busts that we're going to have in recent time.
Yeah.
Really kind of reclaimed his career last year, I would say. with the Vikings, and then he didn't. The last 2 games of the season were huge spots. He was horrible. And then this year, I mean, he goes for 4,048 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 picks, doesn't run much. He fumbled 11 times. He lost 6. He can get loose with the football.
Mm-hmm.
9th in EPA per play among QBs, but when pressured, only 23rd. 14th when blitzed. 5% interception rate when blitzed, which is basically saying he throws a pick every 20 passes when there's a blitz. And I don't think he's faced many defensive lines like ours, especially in the recent months. Like, the Rams generate pressure from the outside. Jared Verse is a hell of a pass rusher. The Seahawks tackles are pretty good. Their interior line is where you can beat them. That's where this game comes down to. The more I'm digging into it, the right guard, Anthony Bradford, PFF thinks he sucks, essentially. He's the worst guy in their line. 2023 4th-round pick. Like, that could be a spot where, we just give that kid hell all day. The center, Jalen Sundell, similarly, 2024 undrafted free agent. PFF doesn't love him either. That's we're talking about Christian Barmore, Milton Williams,
Tonga, Durden,
yeah.
Yep.
Those guys need to give these kids hell, and that's how the Pats could win this game. I mean, the left guard, Gray Zabel, people loved him going to the draft. It seems like he's been a bit better recently. He's been up and down this year. PFF gave him a 57 grade in the season, which isn't very good. So that's where this game's going to be won or lost, in my opinion. I'll let you guys give some thoughts. I just kind of went on for a bit.
I totally agree because, right, the Patriots, years ago, we lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants, and people say, oh, it's because they had Strahan. No, Strahan was great. They pressured us in the middle when they lined up Justin Tuck over Logan Menkins, and they let him eat him in the middle of that field, and they generated 5-6 sacks in those games. So, yes, it's very, very possible to lose Super Bowls that way, and Darnold's had a good year this year. He's been great in the playoffs. When you have that pumpkin DNA like he does, that's what he is. He's a pumpkin. And at the end of the day, I feel like if we're going to get some pressure on him up the middle in the pocket and kind of force him to make a mistake or two, I have that feeling he's going to do that once, maybe twice in the game, and it might be the difference in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think exactly what G said, and bouncing off you, up the middle is probably the toughest thing for a quarterback to navigate with pressure. Like, you get edge pressure, you can navigate that if you have a solid pocket. Like we've talked about Brady, that was what Brady always needed. We needed a strong pocket up the middle. And I think this is lining up where if we can get pressure up the middle and have him have to start to feel that and not only feel it but see it and maybe escape the pocket and put some pressure on him once he escapes, have someone ready to attack him once he breaks the tackle box is a huge. I think Barmore and Williams hopefully can take over this game, and I think with that hopefully causes him to play out of rhythm. Because I think Sam Darnold, we've seen it. Sam Darnold, when he plays in rhythm, is great.
Yep.
When he plays out of rhythm, that's when that's when things start to show up. So
he's not going to be, you're right, he's not going to be a guy if we get pressure early and he starts off this game 1 for 5, he's probably not going to have a good game. He needs someone who needs to have some easy throws early, get his confidence in, get going, because he's not someone where if he starts off like shit that he's going to bounce back. He'll turtle. That's what his career is. When he starts off playing hot and he gets some easy completions and he gets in the zone, then he's going to have a good game. I also don't think that they have played. I know we all agree they haven't played a defense that can get pressure like this. They also haven't played a secondary like ours either. We have an excellent secondary going into this game, and we can make life very difficult for their receivers. So if we get the Rams were getting a little bit of pressure on them. I think they sacked him 3 times in the NFC Championship game, but they have absolutely no help on the back end in the secondary. So even maybe sometimes where they were close or they were getting a little pressure, there was nothing on the back end. We have that help on the back end now where it's gonna create some problems for them. I think they're gonna have a difficult time scoring.
Yeah, I think that this is where this game will be won and where we can win the game. If Darnold comes out and Anthony Bradford and Jalen Sundell are able to hold up, and he's got time. And I mean, he throws like a great deep ball. Like he's
Yep.
been
Yes.
excellent throwing the ball down the field. A couple more stats: pass block win rate. Seahawks were 12th. Pass rush win rate, we were 19th. We've been way better recently. You could throw those out the window.
Yep.
Run block win rate, Seattle was 8th. Run stop win rate, we were 10th. We've been way better recently. You can throw that out the window. It's like,
Yeah, we had
the
that
stats were skewed. We had those bad stretches. Yeah.
without Milton Williams and Bobby Spillane.
Yeah. So
Huge difference.
Yes.
it's like if that's another thing. If we can blow those runs up in the backfield by exploiting those guys on early downs and put Darnold at 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 3,
Mhm.
you know, like give these guys time to get to him. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. If Darnold has a good game, it's going to be really hard to win. This team, we're not going to put up 35 points on this team. Like they've got a defense that's clicking right now,
Mhm.
and I think they match up well with us defensively. Like it's going to be, I think we're going to. It's similar to the games we've been playing all playoffs, really. Which obviously we're not going to talk about the offense a ton today, but we needed like a good Drake May game to win this game. Like he's got to,
Yep.
you know, he's got to find the holes in his defense. He's got to find the holes in the zone and make throws. But there's a chance it's like, wow, we just crushed Darnold. Like, and it's like we said, he's had a much better season. He threw 4 picks against the Rams in LA, the game they lost. They almost still won, which was crazy. And then even the game that they beat the Rams in the regular season, that crazy Thursday night game, that was the one game where it was like, wow, he actually kind of like, he made it happen. He threw 2 picks. They were down 16 in the 4th, and then he kind of just like started going off.
Mm-hmm.
Had to help with some crazy plays in the midst of it, but it's wild that he's in this position. Let's just take a moment to recognize that too. Sam Darnold is a fairly heavy favorite in the Super Bowl, which like
nuts.
And it's like you do see when you watch him. Like the kid was a 3rd pick in a really good QB draft in 2017, and you see the traits why that was the case. Like the kid, he's big, he's got a great arm. He make all the throws. You know, he can move a little bit. Like he's an athlete. He seems like a pretty decent leader. People are like the kid. Like he's got a lot to like, but like you said, G, he's got a history of. He can have some games where he kind of poos down his leg, and that would be nothing better for us winning our chances than that happening in this game.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to highlight where I really think the Patriots can take advantage of is the fact that Zach Charbonnet is not playing in this game. He is their best pass protecting running block. Kenneth Walker is not good at pass protection. When he's in the game, and if it's like a 3rd and 7 or a 3rd and 8, you really need to test him and bring extra pressure, bring an extra blitzer, make him pick it up. He's probably going to commit a holding penalty or he's going to get blown up and give up a sack. So they need to attack Kenneth Walker when he's in the game for pass protection purposes. And then another thing is that they're just also light at that spot. He's really their only guy that they feel confident giving the rock to. So, and he's also someone who has, as explosive as he is, he's had a history of injuries as well, too. He does get nicked up a lot. So that's just another factor, too, as well, that's I think could play to our advantage.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a huge, huge point. And this is where I think this game, I'm expecting from a defensive standpoint for us to be probably not blitz as much as we have. At least definitely not early. Maybe if we start seeing some stuff, because like Sam Darnold's actually been pretty good against the blitz this year. Like he's usually pretty good, but where he struggles against the blitz and just struggles overall is throwing those short passes. So like I think if we blitz, we blitz very situationally. Again, I think that comes down to the keys of the game is control the line of scrimmage, control down and distance. And make him dink and dunk as much as you can, because I think that's where he struggles. So I think if we blitz, do it timely, and make it so he has to throw it short.
We just need to get pressure on him because he's one of the worst quarterbacks in football when he's pressured. So it doesn't matter if it's a blitz or if it's getting home with 4 or whatever it is. They just need to apply pressure to him, because if they get pressure on him, he's going to fold. That's what he does.
He'll throw one up like CJ Stroud was, where it's like, wow, what was he like? He just has a brain fart.
Yeah, I mean, just to counter that real quick, because I thought it was an interesting stat. I think that's like definitely true throughout the season. But the last both games in the playoffs so far, he has 4 touchdowns against pressure with 0 interceptions, a 108 passer rating, and an improvement of .49 EPA per dropback versus his regular season stats. So
yeah, his regular season, he was like in the 20s, for
Yeah.
EPA for when prime pressured, and he did throw his interceptions there. Yeah, in the playoffs, he's been great. I mean, there's been like no flaws to his game in the
Yeah.
playoff. I'm going off of what he did in the regular season this year. Yeah, in the playoffs,
He
he's
was
been great.
excellent. He was excellent in that Rams game. He was
Yeah.
25-36, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, no picks. He was great.
That's where I was saying, like, what I was getting to, where kind of what I'm thinking is maybe not blitz as much, but try to, like, I think a key to probably getting Darnold to slow him down a little bit, maybe get him to force something or give us some turnover-worthy plays is, like, we have to make him think that just, like, extra second. Just that extra second, just that second guess of not knowing exactly what you're looking at, or beating the guy up front where we have pressure and he has to move, even if we're not sacking him. Like, if he's not playing in rhythm in that offense, because it's a Clint Kubiak, it's Kubiak's son, right? It's Kubiak's son who's the offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, he just got the
It's
Raiders
the
job.
Shanahan offense, yes.
Yeah, so it's like if those guys aren't playing in rhythm and that stuff's not, like, it's so timing based, and it's everything's rhythm. If we can just make him think that extra second, or just get him off that real back foot in the ground, I know where I'm going, where I'm throwing. I think that's going to be the biggest difference in this game for us, is if we can affect him in the pocket and make him think that extra second.
Yeah. And then, I mean, let's dig into their key skill guys. So, number one, without question, probably the offensive player of the year this year, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. 1,793 yards in the season, 10 touchdowns, 119 catches. Against the Rams, he was phenomenal. 8 for 96 and a touchdown. I think one of the other key things will decide this game is how we decide to defend him and how successful are we defending him. Because it's like they didn't really, after him, it was Cooper Kupp, 47 catches, 593 yards. A.J. Barner, the tight end, had 62 catches, 519. Shaheed came on late. He didn't do much offensively. So it's really Kenneth Walker, Smith-Njigba, and then not the greatest supporting cast. But how do you guys think we go about defending Smith-Njigba?
I think we're going to do a couple of different things. I don't think it's as easy. I know all my friends are saying like, oh, gee, we're just going to put Gonzalez on him. I'm like, oh, no, that's not how it's going to work, boys. I mean, yes, of course, there's going to be plays where he's covering him, but you can't just throw this. It's not possible to just line up, play man coverage the entire game and say, you get him. Like, right, they're going to do different things. They're going to throw different packages at him. There's going to be some double teams. There's going to be some plays where Gonzalez is handling him. There's going to be some zone coverages. They're going to mix it up. And to Cal's earlier point, in the reason why they need to mix it up is they have to confuse Sam Darnold a little bit. And that's what we've been doing to every quarterback that we've played in these playoffs. We have mixed and matched coverages. We've really confused every single quarterback. I mean, Justin Herbert was saying after the game, players on the charge saying, we had no idea what you guys were doing. I mean, and those guys are highly paid professional athletes too. So, I feel like we're going to, we got to handle JSN a couple of different ways. And I hope the Patriots are looking at the Vikings game plan from when, even though they lost that game because of the quarterback play, they shut down Darnold and JSN that game when the Vikings played them. I think Darnold only threw for like 120 yards and JSN only had 2 catches for 23 yards. So I'd look heavily into that game plan to see what worked for the Vikings that day.
Yeah, that's a Brian Flores defense. And yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly what you do. You mix it up. You do not, I don't, as mainstream or as mainstream of a thought as it is to just stick Gonzo on him, I don't think that's the right thing to do. You put Gonzo on him in certain situations, in certain downs and distances, but you put Carl Davis on him, and then I wouldn't like throw Marcus Jones on him and like bracket him and like play these. I think you probably play him close to how we played Tyreek Hill, if I'm being honest. Like, have someone trail. Don't, like, you have a corner that's up physical with them, and and play. I think like keeping your leverage, like this is something that's huge for DBs, is like play to your leverage and know your keys and know your reads. Like play to your leverage. If you're playing inside leverage, don't get beat inside and force him to the help consistently. And
Yeah,
like
I agree. I think we're going to see a little bit of
bracket him.
Marcus. I think we're going to see a little bit of Marcus Jones on him more than people think in this game too. I think just because of their size and speed, kind of are more equal than you'd think. I kind of think Marcus is going to get him a little with obviously some help as well too. So no, it'll be. I mean, that's really going to be. If this kid torches us and we can't shut him down, it's going to be a long day. But I feel like Vrabel and his staff are, they're very well versed in the old, Bill Belichick model of your best guy's not going to beat us. It's going to have to be the others that take advantage. So, they'll have some different things for him.
Yeah, I think he likes to do a lot of work out of the slot too, so I definitely expect a lot of Marcus Jones. Yeah, he's the challenge though. The kids, their passing offense is so centrally about getting him the football, and the kid's a stud, man. I'm excited to see him and Gonzalez match up when they do. We took
Yep.
Gonzalez 3 picks before Smith-Njigba in the 2023 draft.
Yes.
And I think Gonzalez said they're from the same area. You kind of knew him growing up a little bit. I actually just did the map. They grew up 3 hours away from each other. I don't know how well you know somebody that grows up 3 hours away from you, but that's what Gonzalez said. Obviously, they both play in Texas high school football. They both went to big time programs, so it's a great matchup. And yeah, he's really going to be the key. And then I guess the second key, I think Kenneth Walker's nasty. I've always been a big fan. I'm always trying to get him in fantasy leagues. Like I watch him play, and I'm like, he like eye test wise is excellent. He had 1,027 yards this year, 10 touchdowns, 282 receiving yards. Like you said, though, G, I think a big part of their attack is that Charbonnet's really good in short yardage situations. Charbonnet is pretty good out of the backfield. What's his kid's name? George Hulani. He had 3 carries in the NFC Championship. He hadn't touched the ball since November 16th before that. So it's really Kenneth Walker. And also, like you said, he does get hurt a lot. So hit Kenneth Walker early and often. He's good at breaking tackles. Like he's a guy you'll look like you got him at the backfield at the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden he goes for 15. They really need to tackle, and it doesn't sound great at Robert Spillane right now, but I think it's going to be essential that they can get him right for the game because as well as Jack Gibbons and Christian Ellis and Jelani Tavai have looked, I think Spillane is,
he's their leader.
He's the stud, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It bumps everyone down another one. It just makes those guys even better. And I think Kenneth Walker he's an X-play waiting to happen. So if you can contain him and like stay really disciplined, which I think the defense has stayed really disciplined in their like rush lanes, in their run lanes and like gaps. If they can do that, I think that's how you slow him down, because if we can, like, I'm fine with him honestly working for 5 yards as long as he's not breaking off like 25-yard runs. Like I'm good with that.
He never gets tackled by the first guy, so gang tackling. But in the Patriots, I'm not worried about the Patriots doing this because they've done this throughout all the season, except for a couple of weeks when they were very clearly injured. Through most of this year when they've been healthy, they've done an excellent job of rallying to the football. So even if the first guy doesn't get him, there's 4, 5 white shirts around him, bringing him down. So that's going to be key, though, gang tackling him, not letting him break an explosive play. I think the Rams he obviously had a good start to the game, but I think the Rams, for the most part, kind of shut him down in the NFC Championship game. So I feel like our run defense, I think we can do a good job against them. I think they're not as explosive and as a consistent run team without having the option there with Charbonnet to split up some of the carries and the workload.
Yeah, like I said, they're only 23rd in EPA per play in rush plays, so it's not like this was like this incredible rush attack. It's not like this was like this incredible offense all regular season. They really did it with having a pretty good offense and an amazing defense. So, yeah, I mean, those are really the 2 guys. It's like Cooper Kupp's been pretty solid. Shaheed can make big plays. It's been more on special teams since he's been there. He scares the shit out of me. And Barner's a solid tight end. I mean, what's the kid? Jake Bobo. He had a touchdown in the last game. But, it's not like it's this crazy complicated team, the game plan for us. Like so much, I can't emphasize it enough, is if our defensive tackles can just blow plays up, get in the backfield, get your hands on pass balls as Darnold's throwing it, like blow plays up from the middle, it's going to make it hard for them to do things. And I think the amount of predictions for Seattle, it's like once you dive into it, I don't think their offense is going to have that much success against us, unless it's like, yeah, we can't get pressure and
Yeah.
Smith-Njigba was dancing all over us. There's this weird stat where I think we had the worst. There's some stat where we were worse in the league at defending number one receivers. It was just like yards per game against number one receivers, which we don't like go with the single guy takes out a whole defense
Mm-hmm.
strategy, but we're gonna have to do better on Smith-Njigba because if he goes out and torches us, it's gonna make it a much harder game to win.
Yeah, that's you know they're gonna go for him. They're gonna go to him.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely try to feed him. So again, that's where I think if we were talking, if we can bracket him and make it where if he's gonna get the ball and he's gonna have a catch, he's gonna have to work for it. Him and Sammy D are gonna have to work for it. Can't make it easy.
And hit him, hit
Yes.
his ass every time he gets the ball. Put some dirt on these guys.
Yeah, we got to be physical like we've been the whole playoffs. I mean, I think, again, why we're here is our defense, right? And specifically on our defense, it's been our two big boys up front. And and the other guys have played well, obviously, too. But, that's why we're here, is we have decimated teams' interior offensive linemen of the last 3 weeks. I mean, and the Denver game, and not saying it wasn't impressive against the Texans or the Chargers, it was, but there was a lot of injuries for both of those teams. The Broncos had all pros all across that offensive line, and we dominated that game at the line of scrimmage. It's not like, oh, it was a good battle. It was a beatdown up front. You had Christian Barmore doing a swim move. Coach Q would have been proud of the swim move that he put on their right guard, Murez there, whatever his name is, and absolutely ate Jared Stidham's lunch. So I just know. I feel like it's going to be really hard for them to score, and a lot harder than people are thinking. We'll do our predictions on Wednesday, but I just think it's going to be harder for the Seahawks to score.
What's the total?
I actually have no idea.
45 and a
That's a
half
good-
is the over or under. So if we're 4.5-point dogs, I would assume that Seattle's team total is probably 24 and a half.
Yeah, it's going to be 24 and a half to 20 and a half, something like that. So something like, 25 to 20 and a half, I think is what they're projecting. Yeah, so I mean, we're going to get into it obviously on Wednesday. I think it's going to be hard for us to score too.
Sure.
I think this is going to be a grind of a game. It's going to be stressful, nerve-wracking. Every play is going to be tough to get yards. I mean, I had a bunch of key questions. We kind of answered them all as we went through it.
One thing that I wanted to make sure I dropped in here is I'm excited for this defense to let's get after them and let's see if Clint Kubiak has put enough time in this week. He's obviously going to the Raiders. He's obviously going to the Raiders, and you have to build a team, all that stuff. Let's make sure he was on his P's and Q's this week, okay? Let's make sure he had not one foot out the door already. Let's see how many adjustments he's ready to make, and let's get this. Let's make this guy work. Let's see if he's all there.
I love going against a coordinator who's job interviewing. It's like, yeah, he's clearly not fully focused on the Super Bowl. You can't be.
You can't be.
You can't be fully focused on your job when you're also trying to get another job, and especially at a level of the detail they go into in these NFL job interviews. You can't be. So I mean, it's obviously you get the 2 weeks, but I know that Josh McDaniels ain't doing job interviews right now. I know Zach Kerr ain't doing job interviews. So I don't know. It's definitely kind of an interesting element. But yeah, I mean, what else you guys got?
I wanted to throw out Terrell Williams, cancer-free, flying out with the team. He's going to be there in Santa Clara with the boys. That's just a huge emotional boost for them that, if you don't follow the team and you don't, pay attention, you would have no idea. But they love this guy, and the fact that he's able to get his health in order in such, a short period of time when it, wasn't looking great in September, that's going to be a huge emotional lift for them. And watch them come out with just a little extra juice. Not that you wouldn't have juice. It's the Super Bowl, obviously. But you see your boy, someone that, one of your coaches that you care deeply about, with you there. It's going to be, I don't know, just a little extra juice to start that game.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to be on the sidelines.
Yeah, great question.
Or
I
if
don't
he's
know.
in, or if he's in the
hanging
booth.
out.
If he's in the booth,
Oh, yeah.
maybe he's in the booth and he's talking to like he was a defensive coordinator selection for a reason. So
Right.
like another set of eyes, a guy like that, like let's just take it.
I think we have a
Yeah.
tremendous advantage in the coaching game. I think Mike McDonald's, I think the world of him. I think he's one of the
Mhm.
best coaches in the NFL, but it's a really inexperienced group that they have. Mike McDonald's a couple years older than me. Clint Kubiak's got his foot out the door. He's a young guy himself. Mike Vrabel's been a coach in the NFL for many years. He won 3 Super Bowls as a player. This is Josh McDaniels' 9th Super Bowl coaching.
Such an
So
advantage. That's such an advantage.
it is. And we know, so like, and I'm not saying that they're going to be unprepared, Seattle. It's just like even the little things, though, that I know that the Patriots will be like 100% ready for. It's like that longer halftime that, they'll be prepared for that. I guarantee you they'll probably come out and handle the second half a little bit better than Seattle does. It's just those types of things that like make me feel good about it. As I feel like we have a tremendous advantage in that area.
Yeah. And I mean, we obviously got a young quarterback, but he's got a hell of an opportunity ahead of him, and I can't wait to dive into that on Wednesday. I'm so excited for him, man.
That should be fun. Yep.
Yeah. So, that's all I got for today. I don't know any last thoughts on the way we match up with them defensively.
Not really. I think it's compete, just compete, and just play fast. I think this is a game where I think I don't know if you guys heard the Christian Ellis quote of him like later in the year. He was like, hey, I was trying to be perfect and it was making me play. Like I was trying to be perfect and I know I can't be. And eventually I just said, screw it. If I make a mistake, I'm going to make it full fucking speed. That's what you take to this game. Just play fast and play physical. Hit them.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity for this group. I mean, nobody had this being like a Super Bowl winning defense going into the season, and they've really looked like one the last 3 weeks. And yeah, it's an offense. I think they can look like that again. It's the best offense they've played in the playoffs, but it's not like dramatically better than. I mean, you played Justin Herbert. As much as that team was banged up, he played like shit. Played C.J. Stroud. They were banged up. He played like shit. But you know what? These guys, they've been incredibly impressive. And like we said, it's those offensive linemen in the middle for the Seahawks is the weak spot on this football team. And they're going up against with the strongest unit we have. And that's where we have to win this game. And I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Yeah. My only other thought is like, if we play how we've played the last 3 weeks, we're going to win the football game. If we play defensively how we've played the last 3 weeks, we will win this game. That's just how I feel. And I don't know why. I get why people are kind of maybe disrespecting the Patriots offense. They haven't played great in the playoffs. No love to the Patriots defense, man. Just like they're a bunch of nobodies. They've been the best defense in these playoffs. Still. So that'll just be another little thing. Again, they're already motivated. It's the Super Bowl, but just a little extra. Everybody still thinks you stink. You haven't done anything. Okay.
Yeah, though, the more I look at that 4.5, like this spread should be 3, maybe 2.5.
2.5.
4.5 feels a little steep, you know?
It's disrespectful.
So, yeah, it's oh, you guys haven't played anybody. It's like, we're in the Super Bowl. Get out of here with that. Like, just because you haven't played great teams doesn't mean you're not a great team. That's like the things aren't like hand in hand. That just because you haven't beat a ton of like juggernauts doesn't mean you're not a great team, you know? So that'll do it for the episode. We'll be back later in the week previewing the other side of the game, come in with some more predictions, probably recap some of the stuff that's going on in media week. We're 1 week from the Super Bowl. Can't freaking wait.
Need a quick week of work.
Yeah.
Need a busy week. Let these days start flying.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see y'all later this week.
Go Pats.
Go Pats.